Everybody, and welcome back to F1 TS Hub. We are here for the podium tier once again at 7 PM on a Friday night, and we are closing in on the final 3 races of the season here in Mexico City, one of my personal favourites. Alongside me is my former teammate Jono. Hello Jono, how are you doing tonight?
Hi Nick, hi everybody. I'm doing okay, thank you.
Good stuff. So Mexico City, Jono, obviously you've raced around this track. Fond memories?
Never a favourite of mine. It's a good track. A lot of drivers really enjoy it. It was never one of my strongest, but definitely have some good battles here. And it all really boils down to that run down into turn 1 and making the moves count when you get the chance. Yeah,
definitely long run down into turn 1. One of the longest, I believe. Heavy braking zone. So you're going to be looking for drivers to try some overtaking manoeuvres throughout the race at the start, and of course when DRS gets activated as well. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to compromise, Jono, their straight line speed through that middle sector.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to get the balance just right. The more wing you put on, the faster you feel, around 95% of the lap. But yeah, you pay for it down that straight, and if you run too much wing and you can't make overtakes, your race can be won a lot. You can be just stuck behind traffic lap after lap, as it's pretty tricky actually to find a way by anywhere else through the lap. It's follow the car in front for a lot of the lap. So yeah, it's finding that balance is absolutely key, and will be interesting to see who gets that right as the race progresses.
Yeah, definitely. And qualifying here, pole position perhaps because of that isn't going to be, you know, the most important. You spoke just off air before we went live, you know, what it feels like to head down into turn 1. I can't imagine is going to be the best feelings. Maverick gets wide there on the exit, the final corner. And you spoke in the stewards report, John, that final corner, getting a good exit, it's one of the most important parts of hooking up a good lap here.
Yeah, it's absolutely key. I think it's worth sacrificing the entry to the corner a little bit, just to ensure you can get on the power as early as you possibly can and straighten the car up to get maximum traction on the exit. And if you can do that, you can, you know, especially with slightly less slipstream on this game, I think there's a good chance of defending your position. So yeah, all the drivers will be looking to absolutely maximise that exit.
Yeah, definitely. So we got everyone out, either on an out lap or on a hot lap already. So super soft tyre. Perhaps he's going to try a different strategy here. And Jono, this is one of the races which it really is mixed up on strategy. 2-stop, 1-stop. It's going to be close, and also what tyres you use through both whether you're going to 1 or 2 it. But it's going to be really interesting to see who starts on what, who goes longer on which tyre. And these podium guys, they never disappoint us. So I'm expecting another good race here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be an exciting race. As you mentioned, tyre choice will be key. The ultra softs obviously give you absolutely fantastic grip, and you know, you do need that round here. But you also get quite a big drop off in grip on the tyres. Even though the tyre wear percentage can look pretty good here, you could just lose lap time. You need that absolute raw grip that the new tyres give you. So it'll be interesting to see if drivers choose to 2-stop and perhaps utilise that grip, or whether they try and do the 1-stop and play the long game.
Yeah, definitely, and we're just already seeing some quick lap times come in. So Techno Thriller's put it on provisional pole, and look at Kian, the gap between those two is pretty close. We've got a championship up for grabs on our way as Bookster comes into the pits. He must have cut a corner or something because he's bailed that lap. So yeah, the top 3, Techno Thriller, Kian, and the Bookster fighting for the championship. And Jono, they're separated by 36 points as we head into this race, and any of them can win it, but it's all about closing in on these final 3 races. Surely Kian's got the most to lose here tonight.
Yeah, he's got the most to lose, which is always sort of easier to chase. Techno Thriller, as you mentioned, you know, 22 points behind, so he absolutely needs a good result here. He's on provisional pole at the moment, so he's done the first part of his job. But Kian almost matching him as well, and Kian also going on for a second lap by the look of it, I think. But as you mentioned before, pole position not as crucial as other circuits here. The run down to turn 1 means you can quite often actually, we've seen it in previous games, you can get swallowed up actually from pole position down into turn 1. Often the drivers on the second row have actually come out of the first couple of corners ahead. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens as Techno improves by the look of it. He does a 16.3. So he's doing everything right at the moment, but those 2 drivers as well, yeah, and Kian drops to 3rd, so pretty close there at the top. Techno Thriller putting the marker down and showing that he means business.
Yeah, it's a short lap here at Mexico, so you'll be able to do 2 runs on each set of tyres. If that's the way you want to go, you will have time for it. Some tracks, obviously, with a 12-minute short qualifying session, you're not able to, but with this one you can. Corner cutting as well is going to be difficult because you do have that middle sector, which is so tricky to keep it out of those cutting the curves. But look at Razor, he's got over 10 laps of fuel in his car, so not too sure what exactly he's planning with that extra fuel, but this is definitely qualifying, and the lighter your car, the quicker you're going to go.
Yeah, a bit of a strange one that. Maybe loaded his setup and forgot to take the fuel back out before he went out or something like that, but yeah, you'll definitely lose a bit of lap time running that much additional fuel. I'm on board with the booster at the moment, out on his out lap. You mentioned strict corner cutting rules, so Techno Thriller and Kian there in third, they've done their job. They've got a lap on the board, which is the important thing. They can now go out on another run and absolutely push to the limits. So a little bit of pressure on the Bookster with only 5.5 minutes remaining to go out now and deliver a lap time and put himself towards the front. Yeah,
he's only fueled enough for 1 flying lap on max fuel, so the lap that he's on now, Jono, is going to be the one that's either going to keep him in 16th or possibly 17th place, or it's going to high-rise him up to the front of the grid. I know which one he'd prefer, as the Force India heads down the long straight into turn 1, and yeah, he definitely wouldn't want to start down there. That is not going to help his championship hopes. And 8 podiums in a row, Jono, is what the Bookster's on since Silverstone in the podium tier, so 8 podiums, closing in on MLA, I believe, set the record this season for 9 podiums in a row. I know you yourself aren't shy of a few podiums, so perhaps you've got the ultimate record for something from season 4 or something like that. But this season, Bookster's closing in on MLA's 9 that he has up in the pinnacle tier. But the Bookster had a resurgence in form since going on a mission on this lap. Needs to be careful of those corner cuts though.
Yeah, he looks like he's got through those difficult corners okay. It's been a pretty good lap by the look of it. As you mentioned, impressive records, all those podiums in a row. That is how you mount a championship challenge, which is exactly what he's doing. You just got to keep putting in those results. It's all good well having speed, but you've got to finish the races, and he's done so. So let's hope we don't curse him this week. As he exits the final corner now, good traction out of there by the look of it, and he's about to cross the line. Let's see where it puts him, and it gives him provisional pole position on a 15.7, so by a margin at the moment as well.
Yeah, they were so close at the front, and he's just gone and smashed it. So there you go, just shows you a man under pressure, but a man that can deal with it. As Tejwa is just about to cross the line, moves into the top 10 now, 1.6 seconds off pole position, and 3 seconds cover the entire 17 drivers we have here tonight for the podium tier. So hello to everyone watching, and make sure you follow us on Twitter and hit that subscribe button as we get ever closer to 100 subscribers. Jono, 3.5 minutes left of the session, and I imagine these guys are going to be coming back out very shortly. Kian in 5th position, he's going to want to be in the top 3. He won't want to be starting down there come the start of the race. Definitely.
He's only a couple of tenths off being in 2nd, so it's very, very close there at the front if you take out the Bookster's time at the moment. So yeah, definitely positions up for grabs here as the drivers rejoin the track for their final runs. As you mentioned, I think you said the Bookster's also was only fuel for 1 lap, so that's his session done then, I believe.
Yeah, Emphatix has come out on the Ultra Softs now, so he's given up on that Super Soft strategy that he was on, and he's now on the Ultra Softs, currently in 14th position. So Matt, your daddy is well up to 4th. He's had a good run. He's on a quicker lap this time around as well. Is he going to pit? Yes, he is going to pit. So it was showing a 10th up, but he's decided to come in. 2.5 minutes. That's cutting it close to get in and out.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. I see the Bookster's in the pit lane, so maybe he'll have a chance to slap on a new set of tyres and go out and set another lap time.
Yes, if you've got the tyres, you would have had to select the softer strategy in order to get 3 sets of ultras, because he has done 2 runs. So, or he can use the tyre that he used in his first run when he failed. Yeah, so he does have options if he can get back out. Gaza, meanwhile, in 7th place. It's good position for him at the moment. Inside the top 10 as Red Bull fight the Haas drivers for the final 2 positions in the constructors. Oh, and he goes deep, and that's ruined his lap, I'm sure. I don't know if he'll be able to improve, and he pretty much matches his time, just a tenth quicker. So everyone coming out into the pit lane now. I've got to imagine this isn't ideal for Gaz, a bit distracting as he heads down into turn 1.
Yeah, it's not very nice seeing the cars on the right hand side there as you went down to turn 1. Yeah, you obviously hope they'll let you through, and they did there. Didn't lose them any time, but it's just a distraction. Picking that braking point, obviously absolutely crucial, and it just takes your eye off it a little bit. But he got through it okay, and past Kian there as well, who's on his out lap. So yeah, let's see how he can do here. See if he can improve on yeah, like you say, 8th position at the moment.
Tejuar's retired right in the middle sector, so luckily his car drove off track, but he should have come into the pits if he didn't want to continue any further action in this session. Techno Thriller's on a hot lap now. Can he steal pole position back from the Bookster? Bookster's on an out lap again, so he's proved us wrong, Jono. He's going to get out, and he'll be pushing this lap though, I imagine, in order to get round. But Kian down in 6th after Stifler jumped into the top 5. What's the Bookster going to do? We're right on board as he comes across the line. He improved slightly, but it's not enough. He does have one more lap at this though. Max fuel, he'll be running that for surely the majority, if not all of the lap. The Bookster, everyone except Green Finn is out on track, and Tejuar of course has retired from the session. So we've got 16 drivers about to hit this Mexican circuit, and it's sunny. We're hearing it's sunny in the race too, so no rain expected for today. And that's going to bode well for a nice 1 or 2 stop strategy for all of these podium drivers. Under 10 seconds left of the session. Anyone on a lap will now get to complete it. Anyone who hasn't will be stuck. So Bookster didn't have enough time, Jono. He didn't have enough time, and
he didn't make it.
He didn't make it. Matt, your daddy, has also not made it. Neither has Gaza. And we've got Jonas has binned it in the middle sector. He's crashed into the barrier. That's a front left wheel missing from his McLaren, currently in 9th position. Techno Thriller's retired, so what's happened? Is he corner cut, or has he made a mistake? He'll settle for 2nd at the moment. Kev, what's Kev going to do? He's on a quick lap.
Yeah, I'm on board with Kian at the moment. He's coming to the final stadium section now, so it's an important lap for him. He's down 7th at the moment, so he'll absolutely be looking to be higher up the grid than that.
That was wide there as well, Jono.
Through the S's section, yeah, and it didn't look perfect through the S's either. So yeah, he exits the final corner. Where's this going to put him?
Only 7th.
And he doesn't improve. Oh, 7th. Yeah, he improved 1 position, so he'll be disappointed with that. That's yeah, he's going to be right in the action in the thick of it there, down into turn 1. What
can his teammate do? His teammate improves, but he stays 3rd. So the Bookster looks set to take pole position. We've got Jamie on a hot lap. The new and improved Jamie, we should say, 2 driver of the days in a row, last 2 times out. Here he comes out the final corner in the Toro Rosso, currently in 10th position, and he bails in. So but there we have it. That is pretty much everyone done and dusted. Empatix is retired as well. So Jono, that is our grid order for the race, of course, providing there are no grid penalties for anyone. It can get quite congested here at Mexico, especially through that last sector. You don't want to catch anyone in the middle sector and the last sector as well. If you're trying to back off to give yourself a bit of room, it can sometimes get a bit tricky. And yeah, but we'll see whether there's any penalties. I did see there was a couple in practice last night, so hopefully everyone got through clean, and they did indeed. So there we are. Bookster takes pole position, and that's going to put his title chances right back on track. He enters this race starting in 3rd. Techno Thriller is in 2nd. Kev's in 3rd. Oz is in 4th. Matty Daddy 5th. That's a good result for him. Stifler in 6th. Kian is 7th. 8th Tejuar. 9th Jonas. 10th Jamie. 11th Gaza. 12th Emphatix. Spider Atlas, Cobblers, Razor, Green Finn and Maverick line up from 13th to 17th.
Yeah, it's a good lap by Oz there as well, putting in 4th position. So yeah, I'd be happy with that one.
Yeah, a few drivers perhaps outperforming their car in this qualifying session, and you know, maybe a few drivers, Jono, that haven't performed as well as they would have liked. I imagine Kian's the #1 man on that list.
Yeah, he'll definitely be disappointed with 7th. It is a really tricky lap. I always find it quite hard to hook up the lap. It's quite technical, and getting that S is just right. There's very little margin between nailing it and just understeering wide or whatever. So yeah, you know, the Bookster there with a pretty dominant qualifying, half a second ahead of the next man on the grid. But yeah, the crucial thing is now, as you mentioned before, can he keep that down into and out of the first corner?
It's going to be tricky. He's going to rely perhaps on some straight line speed And there's no real advantage whether you're going to go inside or outside here, because obviously you've got 2 slow corners immediately after, so if someone's able to get alongside you, they can make it really difficult for you. We've seen a lot of incidents through turn 2 and 3 over the seasons at F1 TS Hub, but Jono, as we head into the formation lap, can you just talk us through the new rule that was added for today's race regarding the formation lap?
Yeah, we got a new rule for this weekend, which states that during the formation lap, the cars have to basically stay within a reasonable distance of each other, so within about 10 car lengths. So we don't want to see anybody just crawling around the lap and dropping a long way off and keeping the field waiting when they reach the grid. So everyone's got to just drive at a reasonable speed and just keep within a safe distance of the car ahead, basically, about within 10 car lengths maximum anyway.
If you see anyone pop up disqualified, it is only from the formation lap, as the rest of the field warm their tyres up, warm their brakes up, heading to the grid. Just to mention tyres, you know, everyone is on the ultra softs except for Emphatics and Cobblers, who are both starting on the soft tyre, so no one choosing the super softs at the moment. And I believe if you're going to 2-stop, you will want to use the super softs at some point. But yeah, ultra soft for most, and Emphatics and Cobblers doing something slightly different and starting on the soft tyre. We switch over to the position change icon so that we get a rough idea of, at the start, who's moving up and who's moving down. And Jono, final thoughts before they come round what is a very short track. It seems like they're almost there.
Yeah, they're almost there already. That went very quickly indeed. As they come up to the grid now, yeah, a bit of nerves I imagine, especially with the Boogster there on pole position. And we'll just have to reassess the race and where everybody is as we once they leave those first crucial, like you say, 2 or 3 corners. Not just turn 1, it can often concertina and lead to clashes and contact in the first couple of corners. So yeah, eyes peeled and let's see what happens.
There you go, eyes peeled. Boogster starts on pole, Techno Thriller on second, Kev, Oz, Matt Your Daddy, Stifler, Kian, Tejwar, Jonas, Jamie round out the top 10, Gaza, Emphatic, Spider Atlas, Cobblers, and we'll wait for the rest. The loading screen to announce the rest. Cobblers raise up Greenfin, red lights are on, and here we go. Boogster's revving his engine as the waits for the 5 lights, they're off. It seemed to be a long delay. Techno Thriller's got a blinding start. They're going to be alongside each other almost immediately, and Techno Thriller is surely going to have the inside, but the Boogster seems to have got away better in the second phase. This is all going to be done on the brakes as we're going 3 wide just behind. It's quite a wide track, but the corner does narrow, it does bottleneck, and there's a Renault that comes diving in. That was Stifler, I believe. There's contact. There's 3 or 4 cars off the track now, cutting across the grass. My goodness, Jono. Techno Thriller leads. Oz is up to second. Stifler's up to third. There's more contact, wheel banging, and just getting a little bit too close for comfort there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was the Renault, as we mentioned at the time, who just seemed to miss his braking point or go for a late move there. And yeah, took a few drivers with him on the way. The Boogster survives, back up into second now, makes his way back past Oles. So he's only lost 1 position there. It could have been a lot worse for him. He looks to be damage free as well, from what I can tell. But yeah, it caused a little bit of yeah, a little bit of chaos, that's for sure. But maybe not quite as bad as it could have been. It looked like it might be absolute disaster there. But most drivers seem to be able to cut the grass and carry on.
Yeah, Techno Thriller did get a 5-second penalty for cutting the grass and getting a position. So whether he had to do that to obviously avoid action or whether he actually did gain an advantage, we'll have to wait and see his view. Jonas did leave the session, but he immediately was able to get back in as Stifler dropping down 10 places into 16th place. We think it was him that came down the inside into turn 1 and caused all the havoc. But as you mentioned, John, I don't think there was too much carbon fibre. It was more just cars taking to the grass to, you know, take avoiding action and just a bit of wheel banging. But yeah, hopefully not too much carbon fibre there. A messy start, but who goes through? That's the Boogster. The Boogster goes through on Techno Thriller, and that was a strange one. It looked like Techno Thriller just maybe lifted off or something, or just purposely went wide.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite what happened there, but either way, the Boogster back into first where he started, and shout out Kian as well, down in 5th. So he did make up a couple of positions there at the start, and it looks like he did avoid avoid the contact, and so yeah, he's on his way in 5th, so he'll be looking to make his way forward towards the podium now if he possibly can.
So the top 5 have got a bit of a gap. as Kian has a little bit of lag there on my screen. Here he comes, closing in on the Ferrari. Is he going to try down the inside here? Matt Your Daddy into the final sector. They're side by side, and that is job done. Kian moves up to 4th position, so championship leader up into the top 4. And did he spin it? No, that was lag. So the Williams there. Emphatic's been 6th on his soft tyres. He's had a good day at the office so far. Razor and Cobbler's the only 2 to come into the pits on that first lap, or second lap by the way, so they are into the pits. Jamie up to 9th. Kev is down after that first corner contact, so you can only presume that he was involved in something. But here he comes on Jamie. This is for 9th position, down the inside into turn 1, and pretty much job done as they hit the brakes. Is Jamie going to hold it around the outside? He does hold it around the outside. Kev just broke too early there.
Yeah, he did, and Jamie takes full advantage.
Look at Gaza v Spider, darting from the inside to the outside of the track, and Spider defending against the Red Bull of Gaza, who looks a man with some fire between his belly for tonight's race, and the Red Bull chasing down the Renault.
I think Spider did just get that position into turn 1, I think it was actually, so I think he's just gained the position from Gaza, who was attempting to fight back there. So yeah, and struggling for a bit of traction there as well in the first part of the S's. And yeah, can Spider now move away? As yeah, in 7th position at the moment, the Renault. So yeah, stiffly mentioned, down to 16th after that lap 1 carnage.
Maverick just took green fin there as Jonas went wide off the track and then rejoined, and Jonas gets up into 11th position. So after his disconnection, he's just outside the top 10. So bad start for Razor, and Cobbler's already in the pits. Stifler is also into the pits.
Maverick here. Maverick, I think, almost touched the wall on the outside of the final corner. Greenfin got a good exit, and he's on the inside. This should be job done as long as he nails the braking point. And he moves across, so he has comfortably got the position, and yeah, he has.
Stifler spinned it, Jono, through the S's. Stifler's called it a day in that Renault. He's missing his left front tyre. That's right in the middle of one of the S's, the final exit of the last one, I believe. So he's obviously just lost the rear of the car, spun it into the inside wall, and it's ripped his tyre off. Will there be any sort of safety car as Maverick gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting? And yeah, meanwhile Gaza did get Spider Atlas back that lap, Jono, so we missed that one, but Maverick was also doing a move there. So there we go, both drivers having a position change heading into the first corner last time around, and it seems this lap just ends so quickly. It seems 1 minute we're at the first corner, then we're at the end of the lap and approaching it again.
Yeah, it's all over in a flash. Kian now right on the back of Oles as they exit the final corner as well. So he's closed down onto those podium positions. Can he make a move onto Oles here, or is he a little bit too far back? He does get a good run in the end, and Oles doesn't defend. He stays to the left. Kian just has to nail his braking point, which he does, hits the apex, and job done. So Kian up into 3rd.
Yeah, onto the podium, and no, doesn't make a mistake. It is simply lag. And look at Matt Your Daddy, he's got a run now, and he'll have DRS, presumably from Kian. Is that flap open? Yes, it was open, but he isn't able to get the run down to the inside of the Haas driver, who's doing a brilliant job in 4th place at the moment, cementing a brilliant qualifying as well. But he's under attack from that Ferrari. Matt Your Daddy looks quick today, and he looks also a man who wants to put in a good performance for the Italian team tonight, as Jamie is in 9th position in a bit of a sandwich there.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Matt Your Daddy loses the rear of the car. He doesn't spin, but it lost him a lot of time. Oles gets a bit of relief. As we've seen a couple of drivers now struggle with the rear of the car in the first part of the S's, as they try and turn it in to the second corner there. The rear tries to come round on them. So yeah, that's on reasonably fresh tyres as well. So it'd be interesting to see if we see any big mistakes there when they're on warm rubber a bit later on.
Jamie versus Spider Atlas, and then Kev takes advantage and goes round the outside, just gives no, Spider Atlas just come back down the inside. I don't think that move was ever on, and they've both got a poor exit now. They're going to go side by side. I don't know whether Kev lifted off there because he thought perhaps he was at fault, but DRS for Spider Atlas as they head down into turn 1. And here we go. Is this going to be another attempted overtake into the first corner? We've seen a lot of done on the brakes today.
I think Kev had DRS as well. I think Kev had DRS as well there. So I think that's why he perhaps he was able to defend that move into turn 1 there.
Yeah, Jonas trying to get a bit involved there as well, on the inside a bit cheekily, but Spider Atlas is able to scrap it out. And lots of action going on today, Jono. These podium guys, they never disappoint us with their races.
They don't. We've got a lot of drivers. Yeah, real good battle going on here. Kev, a little bit of a train behind him at the moment. The Renault Spider Altus is, yeah, he's looking for a way through, but it's difficult, as we see. If you don't get a good run into turn 1, there's virtually nowhere else you can make the move. And Jamie looks like he might have made a mistake here, and Kev now right up behind Jamie through the S's. Another driver struggling through the section. And Kev, will he look for a move on the inside here? He doesn't. Jamie defends, and this is going to be interesting now down to turn 1. Who can take advantage? And Spider Altus comes down the inside there, completely takes advantage of that. That was a sneaky move, and he gets the job done. And yeah, he leads onto the straights and moves up to 9th. Kevin 10th now. That was a bit of a cheeky move down the inside there. We don't usually see that in that position in the stadium section.
No, definitely opportunistic move, and look at the DRS Open. Jonas has come to join the party as well, so this has become a four-way. Kian's left the session. He's got connection issues again, Jono. We saw this earlier in the season during around the middle of it, and it's come back to haunt him. Is this going to hamper his championship challenge as he disconnects? He's using an Ethernet cable, so will he be able to get back in the session? Yeah, Ulster's got him, so this will be very key to his championship fight. Whether and look at Matt, your daddy, how quickly he's gaining. Cobblers did retire from the session, John, just before the first corner. Hit the inside wall and front right gone, ripped off. So another driver, 2 of them out of this race. No safety car as of yet, though. No
safety car, even though you'd have thought there would have been where that car was left on circuit earlier. But as usual, we don't tend to get one, and so all the drivers get to continue. That gap at the front, just keeping an eye on it, as Jonas there, I think it was, has just taken advantage, and he's just sneaked past Kev as well in that same section. Kev goes back around the outside and regains the position, but that's a couple of guys having to go at him in a section you don't really expect it on the last couple of laps.
Perhaps he's got a bit of oversteer, Jono. It's just hampering his exit through those S's. But yeah, Jonas did a good move, but he actually outbraked himself. And actually went completely off track, almost hit the barrier, but came back on. And Kev, as you said, swept around the outside to regain the position. Emphatic closing in on Kian now. So, and Gazza's not far behind. Kian will rejoin as Kev gets a penalty. Kian will rejoin further down the order, a lot further down than where he left.
Yeah, what a shame for him. He's yeah, tumbling down the order there. So disappointing for him. Yeah, I was saying before, the gap between the 2 leaders is staying about 6/10, 8/10 every lap. So Technothriller just keeping the booster in his sights and waiting to capitalise. Doesn't seem able to get close enough to make a move, but then maybe he's happy to sit behind this stage of the race anyway. As they both pit actually, end of lap 8, they both enter the pits.
So the Bookstore Techno Thriller doing the same strategy. Look, Kev's got a poor exit again, Jono. And Jonas is on the outside this time. Is he going to be able to do it on the brakes side by side? And, oh, I've done it. I think his tyre, he just kept a tyre on the inside line of the white line there. That would have been perhaps a brilliant move. But look who else is coming. Oz and Matt, your daddy, have also followed. So Emphatic and Gaza now lead. There's contact. Kev's coming into the pits. Wing damage for him. And speeding.
We've seen this before. Jonas was coming down the inside of Kev there, as Kev was wanting to enter the pit lane. So Kev wanted to turn across there, and there was a little bit of contact. Bit reminiscent there to what we saw in the stewards report. So yeah, bit of a tricky one there, but they both escaped pretty much unharmed. But as mentioned, Kev there struggling in that section of circuit, a couple laps in a row.
Yeah, Jono, just to compromise his misery even more, because that wing damage happened so late, he didn't actually have it changed in the pit stop. So he's come out just behind Razart on the soft tyre, and he ain't going to be doing his teammate any favours today, as Emphatic leads this race on the soft. Gaza is in second.
Razart lost the car, came back across circuit out of control, hit into Kev, and Kev has now lost his front wing completely, I think, or almost. So you'll have to pit again at the end of this lap now. I'm not sure what happened. Razart was just sideways. He obviously lost the car and just swept across track. There's nothing he can do about it, I don't think. But Kev now has got to creep back to the pits, and his misery is absolutely compounded. He's had a really bad 2 laps.
Techno Thriller's just got past Spider Atlas as well, so the Bookster seems to come out a couple cars between himself and Techno Thriller. So I don't know whether there was any. Something must have happened there. Look at the gap Bookster's got on Techno Thriller now.
Yeah, there are different tyres as well, I believe. The Bookster's on the super soft and Techno on the soft, I believe, if my readout there is correct.
Yes, I believe you are. As Kian rejoins the session, he's going to rejoin him 11th place, and he's in the pit. So the computer's decided that lap 10 was the time to pit, and he is now sorry, lap 9 it'll be for him. So he's come out the pits in 11th position behind Jamie, and when can he get back into that car is the real question.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really interesting now between these front two. The Bookster with a 4.5 second lead, but he's on the softer tyre, so he will have to stop again, I believe. I assume Techno Thriller will aim to go to the end. So just how much slower are those softs, and can Bookster eke out a pit stop, or at least somewhere near, so that when he rejoins after his second stop, he can hopefully attack Techno Thriller and try and regain that position.
Yeah, we got Maverick getting a few penalties. His teammates within DRS now have Matt Your Daddy, so it's a Red Bull sandwich for the Ferrari driver Matt Your Daddy at the moment. And we'll just wait a couple more laps, Jonos, for anyone else to come into the pits, and then we'll run through who's pitted and who's gone on to what tyre and what strategy they might be doing. But an absolute thrilling race. Is the Force India's lead 1-2 at the moment, and I'm sure Emphatix won't be fighting his teammate too hard when he eventually catches.
No, you would certainly hope not, and imagine not. Kev now, by the way, down in 15th after that contact with Razor, so an absolute nightmare for him. And a real shame. That was a good battle going on there between those few. And Jamie looks to have done alright out of that. He's up to 8th at the moment. So he was battling with Spider Altis and Jonas. He's now got a little bit of a gap from those guys by the look of it.
Kian's back in his car, Jono, so the championship leader is back in his car, fought his way up to 3rd position from 7th on the grid, and got disconnected down to 11th, and now he's in 9th, having pitted from the computer doing that for him, and he's back in his car, and I'm sure he'll be frustrated to say the least, but you got to keep your head down in situations like this, because it's drives like this which really make your championship. And Razart closing in now on Maverick, and on those soft tyres, hopefully he can keep the car under control when he gets close. But Green Finn as well having a quiet race down in 14th position, just ahead of Kev in 15th position. So let's switch over, because we've got Gaza who's closing in on the main straight on the Ferrari driver of Matt Your Daddy.
As you mentioned as well, Emphatic there moves straight out of the way and lets the Bookster through, so absolutely no time lost for him there at all. Working well as teammates, and now he'll set about building that lead to Techno. Yeah,
not as kind as I used to do for you, Jono, eh? But
absolutely not.
No, but anyway, Gaza closing in on Matt Your Daddy, and DRS is open. 2 DRS zones here, of course, in Mexico. And look at this, Jonas and Spider Atlas. These two are having a race long ding dong as they head down now into turn 1. And Jonas is going around the outside of Spider Atlas. So Spider Atlas locks the inside wheel, smoke pouring off of his brakes. And Jonas gets the job done with DRS now open again to defend down into this. Well, it's hardly a straight, but I guess we call it one. Tejra Mimal's had a good opening stint. He's currently up to 7th position in that Mercedes.
Right behind him as well.
Yeah, under attack from Jamie. So Jamie
makes a bit of an error there.
Proving quite quick here again today. So he's getting ready for retirement, but he hasn't lost any of his speed. That's to say the least.
Yeah, you have to say, since he's announced his retirement, he's found a new level of form, and as you mentioned, 2 driver of the days in a row, so he's having a good run of things at the moment. Let's see if he can get a good exit here at the final corner. He gets a reasonable one by the look of it. He's definitely going to be in slipstream, so let's see if he can make a move onto Shah down to turn 1.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be pretty straightforward, because I'm sure Tejwar pitted earlier on in the race, but everyone except Emphatix has pitted in this race, and Kev has pitted twice due to that incident. But yeah, Jamie didn't have the straight line speed there. Tejwar was able to just keep his car where it was, and Jamie wasn't able to get even an opportunity to have a look for an overtake. So we'll follow this one on board, and let's just run through. So somehow Techno Thriller has lost about 10 seconds through that pit stop to Bookster. They were only, as you mentioned, 8-9 tenths behind each other, and Techno Thriller's lost a lot through it. So do you think that was traffic, or do you think Techno Thriller had wing damage that he had to get changed?
I'm really not sure. I couldn't notice any visible wing damage when you went on board with him, but perhaps there was slight damage and he decided to get it changed. I'm not sure. I didn't catch what happened there, but certainly it cost him time, and crucial time as well. We also do know that Techno has got that 5-second penalty for cutting the grass at the beginning of the race, although he may well get that removed. As Jamie has a look now into the stadium section. He's looking to get it done somewhere else, as we mentioned. It looks like he doesn't have the straight road speed, perhaps to do it in turn 1, although he gets an even better exit this time. And well in slipstream range. But can he get it done this lap?
It is going to be possible. He looks very close, but he's also got Kian right behind as well. So come on, give us a better shot footage of this. Jamie does come down the inside. I was stuck riding on board with Tejwar's wing there through that one, so I completely missed exactly what was going on. But looks like Kian's going to have this position as well.
Yeah, it does, and Tejwar's on the ultra softs as well. So when different strategy to everyone else, Kian goes down the inside, so he gains that position. So he's making his fight back. He's doing what he needs to do. It'd be interesting to see now his pace compared with Jamie.
Yeah, definitely, and Emphatic still yet to come into the pits, doing a good job on those soft tyres, it has to be said. And yeah, the Bookster on supers. Techno Thriller chose the softs. Alls, Matthew Daddy, Gaza, Jamie and Kian are all on the supers. Tejwar chose the ultras, Jonas chose the supers, Spider Atlas chose the softs, Maverick chose the supers, Razor chose the softs, and Greenfin and Kev also on the supers. So Kev gets another penalty. He's having a miserable day today, as Razor is still closing in on Maverick.
I'm slightly surprised that more drivers have gone for the super soft than the soft. They obviously prefer that strategy. But the drivers on the soft, they seem to be doing reasonable lap times, so it definitely doesn't look like it's an awful tyre around here.
Yeah, I think it's very consistent as Tejwar comes into the pit. So I did say he pitted quite early in that stint, and excuse me, he's come out onto the soft tyres. So that is his second stop of the day, and he joins Kev in doing 2 so far. 15 laps out of 36. We've got a way to go here, Jono. 21 more of these scintillating laps. And it's been a fantastic race so far that it's going to be difficult to summarise. The Bookster leads from his teammate, who is yet to stop. Techno Thriller with all the work to do in that Sauber, and this is looking also very good for the constructors for Force India. Are they going to force themselves into this constructors battle with Sauber currently leading Williams and Force India further back? So it's going to be interesting, but Kian, the man leading the Drivers' Championship, currently down in 8th position after disconnecting and rejoining.
Yeah, and he made a little bit of an error as well on the previous lap, which meant he dropped off the back of Jamie a little bit. So he's closing that gap back up again. Looks like he has got maybe a small pace advantage, but yeah, he did make a little error, and that's all it needed to drop him off. And that's a couple of laps gone that he's now got a battle to get back into that position. So he's obviously pushing really hard. The computer pitted him onto the super softs as well, so who knows if that's actually what his design strategy would have been. But he's got to make the best of it now, and it's going to be difficult for him to move forward hugely in this race. I think the top few are looking safe, but he'll definitely be looking towards getting himself to the top 5 if he possibly can.
He's got a good run here, but now he can't get it down the inside. Not enough confidence and momentum coming into the braking zone. But Maverick, meanwhile, has got the job done on Razor. And Razor, is he going to fight back through turns 1 and 2? I imagine he is going to do just that. Maverick does have DRS though, because he had it on the main straight. Razor's got the momentum, he's got the experience, and is he going to sling it down the inside of the Red Bull driver? He thinks better of it, and Maverick regains the position that Gaza took a couple laps ago.
Seems a bit unnecessary to me, that second DRS zone there. It's just a bit of a double whammy. If you get overtaken into turn 1, you then see the car that just passed you just eke away that bit further in that second section there. Seems a little bit pointless to me having that one.
Kian just got Jamie, by the way. That was coming into the stadium section, one of my favourite sections on the calendar in terms of atmosphere. I'm sure everyone will agree with me there. And he's now up into 7th position, but he's got 13 seconds before he catches Gazzaman. So he's got the pace. He's got DRS, but I don't know if he'll be able to have a move onto the Williams driver with what appears to be a little bit of lag. Techno Thriller closing in nicely on Emphatix though.
Yeah, he is. He's got that down to 0.7 seconds now. So I wonder if the Force India drivers will work together again here now, whether Emphatic will try and really defend and slow Techno Thriller down, because it could be absolutely crucial for the end of the race. Whether he's got tyres to do so, we will see now. I guess Techno's best chance will be to get out of that final corner with the better tyres and the better grip and make the move down the straight. So let's see how he gets on. As Emphatic does... oh, does he pit? No, he doesn't. Looked like he was down to the pit lane there, I thought. But
it did look like it, didn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a strange line. I don't know if he slightly lost the rear of the car or something there, but he's squeezing across a little bit. He's giving plenty of room. The Techno Thriller, just too much grip, and yeah, it looks like it'll be job done from here, and no time lost.
Oh, so goes back down the inside, but good credit there to Techno Thriller. He gave him room on the inside, but just swept round and got a better exit, and brilliant driving from those two. You saw Emphatic kind of push Techno Thriller into the tightest line into turn 1, and that's a natural line that I myself used to. I remember when we used to practice, Jono, we'd always used to do that to each other, just to try and put you off into the braking zone, make you make a mistake, and sometimes it is able to catch drivers out. But Techno Thriller pulled off a brilliant move there, and also gave a little bit of room for Emphatic's half-hearted comeback.
Yeah, that was good driving by both of them. As you mentioned, Emphatic did the right thing there. He tried to push him across, move to the middle of the circuit as much as he could, just to make the braking awkward for Techno Thriller. You're on the limit there anyway on the brakes, so if you can put them off and make it tricky, you never know, they might outbrake themselves, or at least make it awkward from coming out of the corner and into turn 2. So he did all he could to fight back, but Techno Thriller now will no doubt pull away on those much fresher tyres, as Emphatic this lap does pit. I wonder if he was considering pitting last lap, but then thought at the last minute he'd go one more just to try and perhaps defend from Techno Thriller for a lap if he could.
Yeah, he's done 18 now on this tyre, so he's gone on to the Ultras, which means he will be 2 stopping, so he'll be going Ultra, 9 on each, and yeah, that's going to perhaps put him out of podium contention. If he was able to make those softs last and have a 4 or 5 laps, he could have perhaps taken the supers to the end. And yeah, he'll be 2 stopping now. But look at Ols, Jono, in a podium position. He hasn't scored a podium at F1 TS Hub, but definitely he's looking like today could be his day, as Kian takes 6th position from Emphatix, who rejoins in 7th. So 7th, still a good place to come out for Emphatix, considering he started on those soft tyres. And what a brilliant race this is turning out to be. Tejra and Razor are having a little battle, but Razor calls it quits and comes into the pits. And that is his first stop since the first lap of the race. Kev is up to 13th position, Jono, but disappointing day, everyone's saying on the stream. The boy has bad luck, and he definitely does. But that is racing, and look at this battle between now Emphatix. He's got the fresher tyres. Is he going to help to his team, come to his teammates' help here, and perhaps try and get in front of the Williams driver and just hold him up even further?
Yeah, possibly. Yesterday he's got a good chance of making the pass here. There'll be a massive grip difference on those fresh ultra softs. So Kian might be, well, will be vulnerable, I'm sure, into turn 1 in the next lap or so. I say it's nice to have a mix of strategies here and a bit more tyre wear as well. This opens the race up. It's nice not to just have a slam dunk one stop and just giving us some good racing.
Yeah, definitely. It's been fantastic all the way through. Here comes Emphatix into turn 1. Is he going to go inside, outside? Looks like the Williams driver has chosen the outside, but he's quite late on the brakes. He's able to keep the position, and we're just hearing from the stream, Jono, that the reason perhaps the gap was quite big between Techno Thriller and the Boogster is Techno Thriller was forced to serve that 5-second stop for cutting the grass that he got on lap 1 in the pitch. So that's why perhaps the gap was bigger than anticipated. It still was 10 seconds, but as I said, he did come out a couple cars behind the Boogster. So the Boogster with everything to lose here, 13-second lead now over his rival. They started like that on the front row. Also be happy in 3rd. Matt Your Daddy, another good result in 4th at the moment. And look at Gaza up in 5th position. That'll be one of his best results since the start of the season if he can keep it there. But plenty of time to go. 15 laps left in this round 18 podium race. And apologies if you saw that the stream said Pinnacle earlier. That is at 9 PM as always, and the podium is always at 7, so that's where we are. And here comes Emphatic's. He is coming out of the last corner all over the back of Williams, and he's going to try and help his teammate here in the Drivers' Championship by getting in front of that Williams driver.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got the position. Yeah, he moves back across the left-hand side, so he's obviously clearly in front, and job done for him. So push on those ultrasofts now and utilise the pace as best you can. I was a bit worried when he's right close up behind Kian there in the straight with him lagging about. You never know what's going to happen, but he gets by with no incidents and carries on as Oles picks up a 3-second time penalty as well for multiple warnings. So that puts Matty Daddy ahead of him actually at the end of the race if they finished with the time delta they've got at the moment.
Yeah, we've also got Tejwar closing in on Maverick, who himself has picked up a few penalties. I've seen Maverick and Kev come up more than once. Oles I know obviously we just saw come up, but I don't know who else has picked up a penalty. But as the laps go on, perhaps you lose a little bit of concentration, Jono, and it's easier to get them. Tom thinks, Tejwar I should say, thinks about the inside there, but just kind of tries to scare the Red Bull from turning in, but the Red Bull turned in anyway, keeps the position, and they bang wheels. Contact. Yeah, poor exit that looked like, and Tejwar still behind. Somehow the Red Bull managed to keep that position there.
Yeah, he's picked up a bit of wing damage as well, I think, Tejwar there on the left hand side, so he'll be feeling that understeer through this section. Yeah, just as you mentioned, it was just a bit of an unfortunate contact there, I think, as Maverick got a poor exit and then came back across slightly. They just merged together on track, but they both carry on anyway. But Tejwar probably a bit disappointed about the damage, which I believe, I assume he picked up there and didn't have it beforehand. Yeah,
it looks like a bit of end plate damage, Jono, so perhaps it's that kind of greeny colour that, you know, just affects the car that little bit in turn-in through the high-speed corners. But regardless of that, he's going to have a go here into turn 1. DRS is open, braking zone's approaching ever so quickly. Which way is he going to choose, inside, outside? The Red Bull goes to the outside after defending the middle of the track. We've got yellow flags in sector 2. Matt Your Daddy's fallen behind Gaza. He spun it. Matt Your Daddy spun it. He's got wing damage as well. So
the Bugs just pitted as well, sorry.
So the Bugs just come in. That'll be for a set of supers, I presume. We'll take him to the end of the race.
It's supers.
So he's come in nice and early for that set of supers. And perhaps, you know, that's if he's going to come out in clean air, Jono, that's basically his race won, as long as he can keep it out the wall and keep it out, keep it within the white lines, I should say. Matty Daddy comes in. So is Kian.
Yeah, you would.
And Oles.
Oh, and Kian as well. Okay, so it's obviously the time.
So will Techno Thriller be able to go all the way on those softs? I don't think so. And even if he does, Bookster's only got 7 seconds to close in on a much quicker and fresher tyre. So Kian and Matt Your Daddy both in the pits. Oles has come out in 5th behind Emphatix. Emphatix does have to stop again for one set of ultras, so he'll be lighting up the timing screens come the end of the race, but it'll be his teammate that's chasing down at the moment, Techno Thriller.
Yeah, you have to say Techno's only hope of winning the race now is to stay out and try and get to the end on those softs, but as you mentioned, the speed difference is just going to be too great, surely. I think the Bookster, if he can keep it on circuit and avoid any damage or incidents or anything like that, this is his race for the taking by the look of it.
Yes, Kev looks like he's just got ahead of Maverick there into 12th position, so the Williams driver trying to get closer to those final few points. And Greenfin also in the pits now. The Haas driver has come into the pits and he'll be shortly exiting back onto the main straight, currently in 15th place. It's not looking like a good day for him, but his teammate up in 5th at the moment, on for what could possibly be a podium. It's a real good fight there between Red Bull and Haas, because they've got one driver outside the points, both teams, and one driver fighting for the top 5. So Jono, that battle between those two teams, which has been heating up in recent weeks, looks like it's going to carry on. Gaza into the pits, Jamie also into the pits in his Toro Rosso. Matt Your Daddy has a poor couple of laps as he compromises himself further with a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he's had a few of those now, so that will definitely impact his finishing position for sure. and Jamie rejoins. It looks like, is he going to get overtaken by the Ferrari of Matty Daddy into turn 1, or will he manage to defend? Looks like he'll probably be able to defend it on the inside. Well, Matty Daddy does try and go around the outside of turn 1, and Jamie holds it now through turn 2 and into turn 3, and Jamie just about comes out there with that 9th position.
DRS, is it going to be active? No, I don't think it is active for that Ferrari. Is he going to try and sling it down the inside? No. So Jamie, that was again good driving from those two, Jono, just giving each other enough room, and no one closing the door on anyone to cause any sort of spins or anything like that.
Yeah, it was all good stuff there. The Buxton now got that gap already down to 4.5 seconds at the front there, so he is charging towards Techno Thriller, who has stayed out, so you've got to assume now he will be attempting to go to the end, as Jamie now all over the back of Spider and the Renault. Will he go for a move into the stadium section? No, he doesn't. He stays behind as Spider slops up a little bit.
Oh, Matty Daddy hit him.
Almost went to the back of him there. Oh, and Matty Daddy takes advantage of that. Jamie there, almost forced off circuit. And yeah, from go for a move on the Renault, he now finds himself getting pushed down to 10th.
Matty Daddy,
yeah,
Jono, just slammed into the back of the Toro Rosso driver. Front wing went flying across the track, yeah, and it actually pushed Jamie through momentum, pushed him off track. Which is why, now he tries the inside of the Renault. That's a dangerous one, right on the edge of the grass. And he's holding no prisoners. And there you go, up another position.
Jamie
so Matty Daddy,
well.
Yeah, Jamie gets him.
Takes full advantage.
And has a good run out of it as well. 4 of them now. Jonas is there.
As I mentioned, Matty Daddy did pick up that bit of wing damage as well. So he's at the front of this train, but he does have damage. So will he be able to maintain that position? Only time will tell. And Jonas, as you mentioned, joins the back of it as well in 10th. He's already gone for a couple of good moves that we've seen today so far already. So can he make his way forward as Spider onto that Renault just to be struggling through his SS section. And yeah, already that little group has split up a bit as Jonas is right behind him and looking for a way through.
Look at Jamie also looking for a way through into the baseball stadium, what used to be, but he wants to wait perhaps to the long straight. It's the best overtaking opportunity on the calendar, perhaps one of them. And here we go, exit the final corner, nail your exit, open that DRS, and wave goodbye to the car in front. But Jonas gets Spider Atlas, who comes into the pits. So Spider Atlas coming into the pits. Jonah, you did mention that Techno Thriller will probably go to the end, but it is possible he will pit this lap and fit Ultras. Ultras will do 10 laps, but yeah, he's going to do one of the strategies, and either way, I don't really think he's going to be able to fight for this race win.
No, either way, like you mentioned, I don't think it's going to work out for him for the win anyway, as Jamie did make that move, by the way, into turn 1 there. Matty Daddy looking to fight back now. So Jamie does gain those positions back and is back into 7th position, so good drive for him so far.
Yeah, definitely these two hounding each other as well, right nose to tail through the last couple laps, so perhaps things are going to get even more heated for a third time down into turn 1. And Matty Daddy now finds himself behind this lap, and that wing damage is not going to be helping him, combined with the dirty air through this section. He's managed to keep it within half a second of Jamie, so if he's able to, you know, get a good exit from the last corner, then he'll be himself in DRS zone. Jamie gets a little bit of oversteer, but you can tell that understeer is affecting the Ferrari slightly, goes wider out onto the curb. And is that going to be a good enough run? It's half a second at the moment. You presume with DRS open, he will be able to try something.
I think he might be too far back, you never know. That understeer really hurt him on the exit of that final corner where he needed to be quick. He just understeered and just couldn't get on the power early. As the Bucks are now 4 tenths behind Techno Thriller, so I'm going to go on board with that and see what happens between the front two.
Yeah, I'm there with you, Jono. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what's going to happen. You've got a Williams driver just behind. I presume that's Kev, who's been lapped now, so he's had a poor day at the office. But always with Kev, he comes back fighting stronger next week. And perhaps is he going to try and unlap himself here? He's got DRS, he's got slipstream. But no, he stays behind. And oh, look at Techno Thriller just driving beautifully defensively. Just kind of inviting you to try something, but if you try it, you know I'm going to turn in because it was a late one. Emphatic's pits.
Yeah, that's it. And the Buxton needs to be patient. There's no need to go for anything risky here. He's got plenty of laps left on the board and I'm sure the opportunity will come on those much fresher and grippier tyres. So he's just got to bide his time and take the opportunity when it arises.
Yeah, Emphatic's when he comes out, John, is going to be flying on those ultra soft tyres. 8 laps he's got to do on them, which means he will absolutely push him to the limit. He's going to come out in 6th place, just behind Kian, who I don't know whether he needs to stop again, but if he does, he will fall further down the order. Ols is set for 3rd at the moment, Gazza's in 4th, but will we have any final late stops in this race? We are on 28 out of 36. The Bookster looking to retake his lead after his 2nd pit stop. Techno Thriller looking to defend the lead after only making 1 stop so far today. And what's it going to be as they enter lap 29? Who's going to enter this 2nd corner leading this race? Bookster DRS is open. What's his straight line speed like?
Doesn't look great, does it, the straight line speed there? Techno Thriller comfortable, really comfortable there. And while he sees that, he's got a big gap to Ols in 3rd. So he'll stay out and try and defend this. Maybe the Bookster, he did have amazing pace in qualifying, but maybe he's done that by running higher wing levels to other drivers, and maybe that will make it difficult for him to overtake Techno here.
Yeah, it is definitely...
So much quicker he is through this section where there's nowhere to go, but then when that crucial exit comes onto the straight, he just isn't able to do enough at the moment to get close into the braking zone.
Perhaps he's going to have to look at another opportunity somewhere else on the track. Perhaps line it up into turn 2 and 3, make Techno Thriller try and make him go defensive into turn 1 and nail the exit through 2 and 3 and perhaps sling it down the inside or try and outbrake him on the outside into turn 4. They're all ideas. Actually doing it though, Jono, we know is a lot more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely is, and Techno Thriller's just got to keep it on the racing line through the rest of the lap. Let's see how they go this lap. He's just got to absolutely hit every apex, give the Bookster no easy path around the rest of the lap, and then nail this exit. He's well in slipstream range again. He opens DRS, but then Techno just maintains that gap. He's just going to reel it in now as they approach the braking boards, but it's nowhere near enough. And yeah, Techno Thriller. Oh, as he goes for a switchback move there, and he went for it, but didn't work out. A little bit of contact, but no harm done. And Techno continues to lead. DRS again for the Bookster here. Would he look for something into here? He doesn't. I think he's a bit too far back. Oh, and a bit of contact again. Techno Thriller so slow on the apexes of the corners. I think he's just stopping the car on the corner to get the best exit possible, which is absolutely what he needs to do to defend the positions. But the Bookster now possibly will start to get a little bit frustrated if he can't find his way through soon.
Yeah, definitely the laps are coming down. Maverick gets himself another penalty, and Kev keeps having another sneaky look. Whether he wants to think about unlapping himself, but perhaps it's not the best thing to do, as Techno Thriller went off the track there slightly, and he gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So that's almost ruined his chances of winning this race if the Bookster doesn't follow suit and also give himself one. Here we go. He's so close. He's literally tucked under that Sauber rear wing. And as they exit the final corner, this looks like Jono. This time it could be the one.
Yeah, he's closer than ever, isn't he? He's opened his DRS and again makes very little progress. He's closer. Will he go for a move here on the brakes? It looks a little bit too far back to me. Will he go for it? Oh, if he does go for it anyway, and another little bit of contact there. And he tries to then hold it around the outside of turn 2 into turn 3, but nothing's doing. And he gets a poor exit because of that as well, and Techno Thriller powers on through, and that did look a little bit of a sort of half-hearted move to me. Do you think he just went for it but didn't fully commit to it, and there was a little bit of contact there again?
I think there's a bit of hesitation, Jono. He doesn't want to, ruin this as Greenpin gets himself a time penalty. He doesn't want to ruin this result. I wonder if he has been told about the penalty that that Techno Thriller has, but even if he hasn't, I'm sure he wants to. He doesn't feel comfortable, especially with Kev behind as well. It's just unease for the Bookster at the moment, and he's put himself in a situation with that strategy, which is, is probably it's the quicker strategy, but just because of perhaps car setup, Jono, he looks down the inside there. Oh. They touch wheels. Is he going to be able to get the job done on the outside? I don't know. That's the best place. Techno Thriller doesn't push him out too wide. Kev's now looking down the inside, and oh my goodness, Kev's got so close to touching him there. And if I was the Bookster right now, my heart would be beating out of my chest. Is this going to be the move that can seal the win for the Bookster as they head down into turn 1? Ken's now looking to the outside to make it 3 wide. A little bit of contact with the wheels. Can Techno Thriller hold it round the outside? No, looks like the Bookster's going to get it done unless Techno Thriller can get a good exit. He does just that, but the extra grit from Bookster, it's DRS as they head down into turn 4. Jono, talk us through this one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be job done as Bookster at DRS again there. Techno takes a line in to try and get himself a good exit, but it's just not happening, just does not have the traction, and that looks like the Bookster has got that done finally. After a little bit of argy-bargy between the two drivers, he makes a move stick, and yeah, he gets that lead position back. Possibly a little bit more difficult than we thought it might be, due to just the straight line speed that Techno had compared with him. But look how he's pulled away already there, just that S section, he's got so much more grip. That's job done.
Yeah, definitely. Whilst we were focusing on that, there's been a few other battles shaping up, Jono. Kian is 0.7 of a second behind Gaza. That's going to be for 4th place and to try and salvage a few more points for his championship fight. You've also got further down the order Spyler Atlas closing right in on Tejwar. This is for 10th position, the final point of this round 18 race in Mexico. Here we go into turn 1. Tejwar takes the inside line. Maverick gets another penalty, and the Renault driver Spider Atlas was forced a little bit wide there, and Maverick's been disqualified from the session. He's got so many penalties that they've decided to call him a day. Kev's retired. What's happened to him? He's come into the pits and called it a day, so he's obviously felt enough's enough. Green Finn up to 13th because of that, and look at Spider Atlas still on the back of that Mercedes as they approach the S section. Switch over to Kian. He's also closing in on Gaza, so here we go, a couple battles shaping up. You've got to remember Emphatix. Matt, your daddy's retired. What's happened to him? He was in 9th position or 8th position, and he's lost it at the... That's coming under the stand in the stadium section, one of the slowest corners in the calendar, no?
It looks like, yeah, it's turn 13 or 14, is it, or whatever, but look at that. I'm not sure quite what's happened there. Doesn't also look like he's lost a wheel to me, as we are difficult to tell there, but he is off track by the look of it, so the drivers will continue, but Matty Daddy there has thrown away a reasonable result by the look of it.
Yeah, here comes 2 mistakes from Matty Daddy, has to be said. Here comes Kian down the inside into the stadium section. Gaza didn't fight him too hard. I'm sure Gaza's going to take 5th position right now, but Kian too far back from Ols, and Tejwar and Spider Atlas both into the points, but they're still battling for one extra one. Here we go into turn 4, I believe this is, and they bang wheels. Tejwar being very defensive over these last few laps. He wants that 9th position, and Matty Daddy leaves the session. Emphatic is closing in on Gaza rapidly as well.
Yeah, he is, and Spider does gain that position in the end. So he moves up to 9th. Tejwar tried to defend as hard as he possibly could, but it wasn't enough. And he holds the final points position at the moment in 10th. Emphatic, as you mentioned, absolutely rapid on his ultras. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do. As it's Tejwar backing off to let the lap. He's being lapped by the Bookster. That's why he backed off there.
Very respectable as well.
Yeah.
So Gaza still within DRS of Kian, but Kian obviously got the quicker pace and the quicker car. But Techno Thriller on that one stop, he didn't really lose anything from it, did he, Jono? I think, you know, that penalty at the start's probably cost him more than anything. When you look at the gaps now, 5 seconds. Yeah,
that's it. I think it was possibly worth going for it. He did a decent job of defending there for a while. You know, he was with him in that first stint. It all went wrong, you know, really, in that pit stop, as we mentioned, where he lost possibly the 5 seconds with the stop go, and he's currently 5.8 seconds behind on the alternative strategy. So, you know, that could have been absolutely crucial to the race result there.
Here we go, penultimate lap. Gaza is lapping Greenfin now. Greenfin doesn't give it up too easy, but perhaps just wanted a bit of action in this closing stages. Jonah, we haven't had much chance to talk about anything because these guys have been providing us with another fantastic race. After this one, there's only 2 to go, and the Bookster's going to close in on that championship gap. So is Techno Thriller. Kian will be ruining his connection again tonight. It's cost him so many points this season, but it's what's made this championship so close. And if you want to check out the standings and the website and the whole season as a package, make sure you head over to www.f1tshub.com. Lots of off-track stuff happening on our official media day every Thursday prior to the race. And also follow us on Twitter at F1TSHub. We've got live race updates as well as Driver of the Day nominations on a Twitter poll after the race. If you've got any stewards inquiries, Jono and his team will be there over the weekend to sort out anything that the game couldn't resolve on the racetrack. And make sure you hit that subscribe button as we try and get ever closer to the 100 mark. 2 to go, Jono, after we get this final lap done, and summarise today for us.
Oh wow, it's difficult to summarise, isn't it? There's been absolutely plenty of action. We also had the chaos into turn 1, then we've had a mix of strategies up and down the field, and some great battles, including for the lead there for a while. And it's been a really interesting race. It's it's what you want. When we watch F1, we want the great mix of strategy with the tyres and what have you, and the wheel-to-wheel action on circuit. And yeah, Mexico's delivered again, as it often does. Techno now, by the way, absolutely falling like a cliff from the back of the Boogster. He's now 12 seconds behind. He's losing seconds now, just constantly. I think his tyres must be absolutely gone. I think Old's probably too far back to do anything about it, obviously, but yeah, really struggling there at the end.
Boogster's just crossed the line, Jono. He has won the Mexican Grand Prix, and a full 25 points for himself to put his title challenge right back on track, if it wasn't already. His 9th podium in a row, and another win for the Force India team, I should say. Techno Thriller crosses the line in 2nd place. He'll close in on Kian as well. It's going to get so tight up there. Ols, what an absolute stunning performance from the Haas driver. His first ever podium at F1 TS Hub. So congratulations to him and the Haas team. Kian takes 4th, salvages 12 points to try and keep his title fight in his control. Gaza takes 5th position, his best result since the early part of the season. Emphatic, a good result for Force India. They are the highest scoring team today, and they are going to close in on the top 2. The full results coming after the podium celebrations.
Yeah, you have to outstanding drives from Old in particular to get 3rd. Just drove a brilliant race and just had genuine great pace there, so he'd be absolutely delighted, I'm sure, with the podium. And Gaza as well to pick up that 5th. We know he's had a bit of a rocky time of late with picking up results, but bouncing back absolutely brilliantly there with a top 5 position.
It's just got to be one of the best podium celebrations of any track, with that what used to be a baseball stadium section of the track. All the fans come out to celebrate with the teams, and I always enjoy watching that as the drivers celebrate with their champagne. Let's quickly switch over and get full confirmation of results. The Boogster takes 1st, as we said. Techno Thriller comes home in 2nd. Ols takes 3rd. Kian takes 4th. Gaza takes 5th. Emphatic takes 6th. Jamie takes 7th. Jonas takes 8th. Tejuar scores his first points since the early part of the season in 9th. Spider Atlas takes the final point. Razor in 11th. Greenfin in 12th. And the rest of the drivers all DNF'd. We've got Matt Your Daddy, Kev, Cobblers, Stifler, and disqualified was Maverick for too many corner cuts. Quick shout out as well, Johnny, to the drivers who didn't get penalties. Boogster, Kian, Jamie and Razart all not getting any penalties, but absolutely few penalties for some of the others. And fantastic race, Jono. It was over in 48 minutes, but we enjoyed every second of that. And final thoughts, Jono, before we head off before the Pinnacle tier at 9 PM.
Yeah, it's just a fabulous race, and good for our championship battle as well. Obviously, the Bucks taking the win and taking points out of Kian, who bounced back well there in the end. I think he'll be reasonably happy with his comeback. He couldn't really do any more from that disconnection. And yeah, it's all looking absolutely great for the last couple of rounds.
It is indeed. So we'll be back with a podium tier next week at 7 PM, and 2 races to go as we head in. We've got the Constructors Battle and the Drivers' Championship, both up for grabs in this podium tier. So next week 7 PM we'll be here. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you at 9 PM tonight for the Pinnacle tier, also in Mexico.